In this episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan interviews musician Post Malone. The conversation covers a wide range of topics, including the music industry, artificial intelligence, the importance of balance in life, and the experience of being a parent. The discussion begins with Post Malone talking about his experience with the music industry and his success as a musician. He mentions the pressure to constantly work and stay ahead, but also emphasizes the importance of finding a balance and enjoying life. He talks about the joy of being a father and how it has changed his perspective on life. The conversation then shifts to the topic of artificial intelligence and its impact on music. Post Malone expresses concern about the rapid advancement of AI and its ability to create music that is indistinguishable from human-made music. He discusses the potential for AI to create personalized songs based on individual preferences and how this could change the music industry. Joe Rogan brings up the idea of AI-generated music and its potential to replace human musicians. He mentions the rise of deepfake technology and how it can be used to create realistic audio and video content. Post Malone acknowledges the possibility of AI-generated music becoming more popular than human-made music in the future. The discussion then turns to the topic of radio and its decline in popularity. Post Malone reflects on the shift from radio to streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. He mentions how radio used to be a central part of people's lives, but now it has been replaced by personalized playlists and on-demand streaming. They also touch on the topic of fishing and the experience of catching a shark while on vacation. Post Malone shares his love for fishing and the excitement of catching unexpected fish. He mentions the importance of catch and release fishing and the need to be mindful of the impact on the environment. They go on to discuss the importance of finding joy in life and not getting too caught up in work and success. Post Malone emphasizes the need to take time to relax and enjoy life, especially in a world that is constantly moving and demanding. Post Malone expresses his interest in Atlantis and mentions watching a documentary about the Younger Dryas impact theory. This theory suggests that comet fragments hitting the Earth around 11,800 years ago caused massive flooding and potentially led to the end of a civilization. Post Malone speculates that the civilization that built the pyramids may have been more advanced than we realize. The conversation then shifts to archery, with Post Malone sharing his experience trying out the sport. He talks about the different types of bows and the precision and technique required for accurate shooting. Joe Rogan explains the use of rangefinders and sight tapes in modern archery, which allow for more precise aiming. The discussion briefly touches on Mars and the possibility of life on the planet. Post Malone mentions the presence of xenon in the soil on Mars, which could indicate past nuclear explosions. This leads to a conversation about NASA and the manipulation of photos, with Post Malone questioning the accuracy of the images we see of Mars. The conversation then turns to online criticism and the impact of social media. Post Malone shares his experience with people making assumptions about his personal life based on his appearance and energy levels. He acknowledges that while some people genuinely care, others are mean and want him to fail. Joe Rogan advises him to avoid paying too much attention to online comments and to focus on the positive aspects of his life. The podcast continues with a discussion about the fascination with dangerous activities and the allure of watching others take risks. Joe Rogan mentions the recent incident involving a submarine that went to see the Titanic and ended in tragedy. He explains that people are often drawn to stories like these because they allow them to learn from others' mistakes and avoid similar situations. The conversation returns to music when Post Malone discusses his passion for music and how he got started in the industry. He talks about his influences, such as Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash, and how he incorporates different genres into his own music. He also mentions his love for country music and names artists like Sturgill Simpson and Tyler Childers as his favorites. The conversation then shifts to conspiracy theories, with Post Malone expressing his interest in the subject. He discusses the idea of destabilizing society and the potential motivations behind it. He mentions the possibility of an engineered downfall of society and the role of universities in promoting certain ideologies. He also talks about the potential consequences of prison reform and the release of violent criminals. The discussion takes a turn towards UFOs and extraterrestrial life. Post Malone shares his belief in the existence of aliens and discusses various encounters and sightings. He mentions the Battle of Los Angeles in 1942, where unidentified objects were seen in the sky and military personnel fired at them. He also talks about a KGB file that claims a UFO was shot down in the Soviet Union and turned soldiers into stone. The podcast concludes with a discussion about the music industry and the importance of authenticity. Post Malone emphasizes the need for artists to have their own unique style and voice. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.